Hey, what's going on, Mecha Army? Welcome to the Child of Mecha live stream. I am your host, Tim, the one and only Child of Mecha. It's Thursday, you guys. We're going to jump into the Team SD Buildoff build here. But, hey, repping the Army today. So just real quick, let's get things out of the way, and then we'll kind of go from there. All right. Hey, if you want one of these cool Mecha Army hats, represent on the side there. Yeah. You can pick one up at www.childofmecha.com. Hit the store button up at the top, and you'll be presented with all that. This hat, many more, shirts, prints, all sorts of other cool stuff. They make wonderful apocalypse presents. Yeah. Let's see. If you are interested in any of the tools and materials that we're going to be working with here today, I highly suggest that you hit up the Amazon link just below here on Twitch and YouTube somewhere. That side, if you're watching on Facebook, I do get a bit of a commission based off the stuff that you buy, but it does not increase the cost for you. And every little bit goes to help me out, goes to help out the stream, and kind of push forward all of the endeavors that we're going to be jumping into very, very soon, right? And as always, if you are in need of model kits or paints or accessories, tools, etc., Mecha Decals, sheets 1 and 2, those are both in stock as we speak and shipping. Hit up our good friends right down here, USA Gundam Store. Adam and the fine crew down there will definitely have what you need. Now, if you did not see the email today, and if you didn't catch the stream last night, Adam, the warehouse will remain open and shipping through their stay-at-home order, right? They have to close down the retail portion. So you're not going to be able to come in, buy kits, all that. But if you order online, those will continue to ship out. So that's a good thing, for the business, and obviously for people, in need of kits and supplies and things, right? So hit them up. They're definitely going to have what you need, hopefully, because they're getting bombarded with orders. So real quick, before we continue, I do want to just kind of talk a little bit about last night's stream. If you missed it, man, you missed a show and a half, I swear. I've never experienced anything quite like what I experienced on last night's stream. If you missed it, people kind of blew up the super chat on YouTube big time. Like, incredibly. So that was just kind of an amazing feeling, seeing, people kind of be very, very generous, especially in tough times like this. So I'm very, very thankful for everybody last night. Even if you didn't go super chat or sub or anything like that, that doesn't matter. Just watching is cool too, you guys have my absolute appreciation. And here we go. Brandon, thank you, buddy. Look at him. $10 super chat. Brandon, thank you, brother. You get one of these. Yeah. I was handing these out left and right last night, I swear. Yeah, Brandon, thank you, buddy. Thank you, brother. It really means a lot. We're not cutting onions today, kids. We're not cutting onions today. We almost cut some onions last night. That's for damn sure, because that was overwhelming. So, but seriously and straight up, thank you for all of it. Brandon today, everybody last night. So it was really, really cool. It was very cool. So, we shall continue though. We shall get to work. Now, before we can do that, we got to lose the hat, obviously, right? So there we go. Julio says, take your shirt off, or take off your shirt. No, man, that's not going to be happening. That's just a private show for you, Julio. Come on now. You want all this exclusive, right? Come on. That's just for you, buddy. And Julio, did you notice I wore green today? Yeah. All right. So let's get camera 2 going here. All right. So yesterday we went ahead and installed the heat sink here into this shoulder piece. Man, it looks really good. I think I'm very, very happy with that. We put this little kind of accent strip there. And, man, it just sets it off and everything. But today, what I want to do is just continue kind of on the front of the shoulder. And just kind of do some little details and stuff like that. Introduce a kind of a newer concept to you guys. And we'll kind of take it from there, right? Hey, Dean, dropping a quick hi before I have to go. Dean, thank you, buddy. Appreciate that, brother. Let's see. Brandon 5269 says, had to miss last night's stream, so I figured I would make up for it today. Thank you, dude. Appreciate that. Persistent Turtle, Mr. Lucas, he's over there on YouTube. He says, take my pants off for Julio's money. Hey, I'm sure Julio would just let the money fly, right? No one's ever asked where camera 3 was. Yeah. You don't want to ask. Camera 3. Lucas says camera 3 is just for Julio. Yeah, right. Oh man, the green peen. There you go, Julio. There you go. Oh shit. Ha. Here we are, Mr. Frankie RG. Now, real quick, he says, "Can I get an oh yeah?" And Frankie, I think I can pull one out for you, and probably not as well as you do it, but I think we can do it. Now, real quick, some background on this, and we'll go camera 1 for this because this needs to be caught in all of its glory. So last night was Frankie's first foray into solo streaming on Twitch, while building and stuff like that. And evidently he's got this thing where he kind of squeals like, "Oh yeah," and I don't get it, but evidently it's caught on. I saw yesterday on Twitter, Justin, our boy Justinius Builds, he asked Frankie for an oh yeah, and Frankie replied with a video and everything, and it was just kind of odd, right? So obviously I posted a story from yesterday, saying go hit up Frankie, get tell him to give you an oh yeah, right? So it's so weird. Anyway, I'm gonna try my best to give Frankie his due, give him an oh yeah. And if you want to see it done by the master, definitely go hit up Frankie's stream on Twitch from last night, and you'll absolutely see it. There's actually some at least 3 clips from last night's stream that I managed to get, and so go hit those up as well, because those are pretty entertaining. But without any further ado, and here we go. Bear with me here. I must hydrate. Me. Ha. Here we go.
Oh yeah?
Is that good enough? I don't know. Somebody tell me Frankie, tell me if that's good enough. Julio was on there too, so we'll get honest opinions out of both of them, right? Julio says, "Yo." I want Frankie's opinion though, because that's the one that matters, right? Terry T says, "Oh my God, what just happened?" Terry, like I said, you got to go check out Frankie's. You gotta go check out Frankie's stream from last night. That's exactly, or at least my interpretation of how he does it, right? He got that weird, squealy, high-pitched thing going on, right? Like I said, it's kind of very odd, right? But Frankie paid for it, so hey, he got it, right? Oh, Woody, Mr. Woobish over there on YouTube, he says, please no. Brandon was like, what the fuck? Frankie says, I'm recovering. Nice. Brandon says, I'm with Julio. Please do not do that again. Julio says it gave him goosebumps. Hey, why not, right? Why not? VFX10 Viper, Mr. Josh is over there on YouTube. He says, my speakers went weird. Greg Blair says, well, that was weird. Frankie says, my soul left my body. Well, Frankie, as long as you enjoyed it, my gift to the world. All right, so enough of that. Let's go camera 2. Let's get back to work. No more oh yeahs from me. That's one and done. We go out on top. Just like Jordan in his prime. We go out on top. Right? Done. Frankie says, I'm dying. Dude, you better... straight up, you better clip that. I'm telling you, you better clip that. If you don't, you're doing the world a disservice. Hey, there's Simon. Mr. Simon Curry, Gundam UK. He's over there on YouTube. He says, hey. Simon, what's going on, brother? Brandon says, need to go back and screen grab that. Dude, just head over to Twitch and you can do like little clips. I don't know. Can you do it on... I think you can do it on YouTube now, right? I think so. I don't know. Maybe. But hey, you know what? Woody, Mr. Woobish, he's got a question. Let's hit him up with this. Hey! Oh! Woody says, what is your wet sanding process, right? Pretty easy, Woody. Pretty easy. He says, what grit, right? So, the process is simple. You get a little basin of water, just a little container, right? And then you got your wet sanding paper and everything, and then you just go to town. So, basically, the grits that I usually start out with are about 800 to 1,000. I don't usually go any less than that. Well, I take that back. If I'm wet sanding resin, I'll probably start at like 400, right? And then work my way up. But plastic, I start much higher. Usually, like I said, about 800 to 1,000, and then kind of work up. And honestly, if you're not doing straight out high gloss, you don't have to go any higher than really 2,000. If you're doing high gloss, go pretty as high as you can find it, right? 3,000, whatever, right? Just kind of get it nice and demons. Get it nice and smooth with that wet sanding. Be good to go. Be good to go. Let's see. Whoa, here we go. Tort Back Thursday. What's up? Miss Tex Marquise, what's going on? Derek's over there on YouTube. He said, what it do, baby? What's going on? Oh, the torts are out, you guys. The torts are out. And that's from, obviously, from Frankie's stream last night. We had a tortin' good time watching him and basically just being stupid, right? So, yeah, there we go. Spank and tort, Frankie. What? We tort once again. What is it? Once more. Into the tort. Anyway, screw it. We can't do this. We cannot start this because we took it way too far last night on Frankie's live stream. So we got the shoulder here, right? So we're gonna continue to detail the front out here and everything like that. So we're gonna pull the top off first, and this is what we're going to focus on initially here, right? So what I want to do is kind of almost do the same thing as our little kind of bump out little addition there, right? But to a little bit of a lesser scale, right? We're going to follow this line, right? We're going to bring it up this way, and then just kind of take it straight over, and then that's just going to be our little addition, right? That's just going to be our little addition. That's it. So we're looking at about what, 2 millimeter, and we're not going to go full 1 millimeter thick. We'll keep it like to maybe half mil, because that'll be a nice complement, nice complementary detail to the lower one. That's a bit too wide, so we're not going to use that. Here I think is 2. Let's see. Shall we? 2, dead on. Sweet. All right, so we're looking at this, and yeah, that should be good. So this is the strip that we're going to use here. Now, let's see. To get this angle, let's see if any of our... hey, Mr. Ruslan, Mr. Bill is over there. Bill, I didn't get to the post office today. I'm very sorry. I did not have a chance to get over there. My bad. My bad. And here goes the torts. I don't give a tort. Yeah, that stream is ruined. Yeah, really is. Mr. Ernesto Reyes, Earn the Fern, Gumpler 305, whatever you want to call him. He's over there on YouTube. He says, Tim, what up, baby? Batty? Oh, Batty. I thought it said baby. Batty? Whatever. What's going on, Ern? Shit. Yeah, Brandon says, what are these angle stops Bill sent? Want to see them. Like I said, I didn't get to the post office, so I can't tell you. But, I mean, they're basically like the stops that you get with the chopper, but in much wider array of angles. Now that is not a 30-degree angle. Let's see if that's a 45 here. Yeah, I think we can get away with a 45-degree angle. That's what we're going to go with. We're going to go with a 45-degree angle. Let's get our chopper over here, right? And we're going to get the 45 set up right up against the blade. Or actually, we're going to do it on this side because I'm right-handed. So we're doing that, and we're going to pop this strip in here, get a nice 45-degree angle cut. Just like that, right? And now let's see if that works. Yeah, that's going to work pretty well. So we're going to glue that right there, and that should be good. So we're going to put the chopper off to the side, and let's get this thing cut here. Now we're gonna line this up a little bit, and we're definitely gonna cut more, obviously, than what we need. But we don't want to cut too much because you don't want to waste the plastic, especially in today's kind of environment, right? So we got our little piece here. We're gonna grab this with our tweezers, right? And then going to get some super glue on this, and then using our little scrap piece, we're going to spread that out there. And before we do this, let's get the eyes on so I can see exactly what the hell I'm doing here. And now alignment for this type of thing is pretty danged important. Okay, right there. Nice and flat on the bottom right here. So that's a good thing, right? And we just press this whole piece right into place. And there we go. Now we need to trim off the excess here. I'm going to trim off as much as we possibly can with the nippers. And then we're going to come in with the hobby knife, and we're going to trim back this edge here. Ever so carefully. And there we go. Simple as that. Easy, right? Easy. So we put all this stuff back together, and that's starting to look a lot more detailed, right? There's varying levels of detail there, right? Varying levels. Let's see. Julio says, Tim a baddie. You damn right I am. Take off your shirt. Julio, I said, man, it's just for you. Come on, man. Don't tell anybody about the OnlyFans. Come on now. You're killing me. You're killing me. Let's see. Rusham says, stay safe. You don't want to rush yourself with how things are right now. Oh, I mean, I just didn't have... I didn't have the time I thought I was going to have today, right? I got out the house today, like, stupid late. I usually, you know, I go walking every day, probably about 2.25 miles every day, and I got out stupid late. I come back, then I started dicking around on the Team Awful Discord, because those dipshits are just an absolute dumpster fire, but they're fun. So it basically comes down to my fault and not watching the clock. Then I didn't. I needed to set up the stream and everything through YouTube and Restream, get the thumbnail done, all that. Didn't do that. So yeah, just time management was not on my side today. But it is what it is. Julio says, you fucking love it. Dude, I didn't say that I didn't. But it's literally a dumpster fire. But in a good way. He says that's why he was sticking around. Dude, like I said, I didn't say I didn't like it. www.greenpeen.com. Just, Freddie needs to buy that. Freddie needs to buy that URL. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. That's a Team Awful Discord joke. Don't read into it. Anyway, Julio says Tim burning up with. Yeah, well, I'll be there to pour gasoline on that fire for you with all of my wonderful gifts. Anyway, all right, so let's add a little bit of detail to this thing in the way of an outline scribe. Yeah, that way this will have a much better defined look. Now that the glue is completely dried, we need to clean the squeeze out from around the perimeter of this part. So we're going to cut right into that glue that has squeezed out. We're going to cut down vertically first, and then cut in horizontally. Now, the reason why I cut vertically first is because you don't want your knife going underneath of the piece and accidentally popping it off of the part that you just glued it to, right? So if you go in vertically first, chances are the glue will pop off before you have a chance to accidentally get under that part, right? And there we go. That part is 100% clean. Now we're gonna take our 0.15, our scribing chisel, or our panel line scribing chisel, and we're just gonna go right around this thing real quick. All right, and then we're going to do the same thing on this side. All right, and now the last thing that you have to do, and this is one thing that a lot of people don't pay attention to when they're scribing or when they're outline scribing or even what have you, right? So what a lot of people, especially when starting out, what a lot of people have a tendency to do is they will scribe just the visible portions or the front portion, right? That is easily visible. You can't stop there. You cannot stop there. What you need to do is you need to wrap these lines around the panels, right? So on the underside of the panels, wrap them around, and that's going to fulfill the look of this whole endeavor, right? So with this, we're going to go right across there. And then with this one here, right into that corner, just like that. Now, flip these around, deepen that cut just a bit, not a lot, just a bit, just enough to where the panel lining fluid will be able to flow into it, right? All right, so let me get you super zoomed in so you can kind of see what we're talking about and why that need to wrap those panel lines are so important, right? Let me get this monitor on here real quick, and then we'll get super zoomed in. Right about there. 5x. Ka-chunk. All right, so let me get this flipped. All right, so there is our little panel there, our little add-on piece of plastic strip, right? And like I said, you can see that outline scribe right around this thing. But to sell the entire look of this being a separate piece, you need to wrap that around there. And then obviously this comes down, and that's going to be, let's see, right in that corner there, right? So that all, once this is painted, this whole little block here is going to basically look like a separate piece, and it's gonna look great. Let's put it that way. It's just gonna look good. So we're not done, obviously, with any of the detailing here on this shoulder. I want to I actually want to introduce you to kind of a new concept, at least for this build. We did this a little bit on the Zaku 2 that we finished construction with a little while back. The idea of micro panels, right, is a pretty common one. And what they are they're just like little teeny tiny little scribed in panels that you will essentially paint a different color, like an accent color, like a gray or something like that. And they just break the monotony of a wide panel or an open space, or they just kind of draw your eye into that little detail, and it just goes to sell the mechanical realism of it. So that's what we're going to be kind of doing here next. And where I'd like to, I want to put probably 2 on the front of this shoulder here, right? And what I'm thinking is to have something right here that kind of goes down like that. And you can see that it just, just that little bit there, right? And what we can do here is to scribe that out, and then we can paint that a completely different color, like a red or something like that, and it will simulate a light, right? But we can also do something like really, really, really small right up the corner of this thing. Kind of like that, right? And then that would be kind of your accent, your micro panel. So basically like a gray or something like that, right? So I think that'll look really, really quite nice there. And then what we can also do is maybe put something like maybe just something like this, and then wrap this down around here, just kind of like that, right? And then we can just put a simple line right there, and that becomes another little micro panel, right? I like it. I like it. All right, so let's get to scribing here, shall we? All right, so for these micro panels, we're gonna try our best to use a scribing jig, right? Because the problem that we might run into is that angle, right? That angle is obviously not a right angle, and the scribing jigs actually are right angles, but this might be enough of an angle to where we don't it's not a huge deal, right? But we'll see. It might be a huge deal. Now for this light, I think this will work fairly well. So let's get to scribing the light portion, and then we'll figure out how to do the little micro panel above it, right? So let's see. We're gonna get this locked into place here, and then we're only gonna make this about 1 millimeter. Just like that. Let's see. How are we going to do this here? This is going to be a little difficult. This, all right. You know what? We got to do the Dymo tape. we gotta break down and use Dymo tape, because I don't think that we're going to get as clean of a scribe with the scribing jigs as we can with just simple Dymo, right? So we're gonna pull that. Then let's see here. Shit, we might just go free-handed on this. Yeah, you know what? Let's just freehand this thing, because we've got a good guide here with the plate thickness, the styrene sheet that we put on here, the strip, and that gives us nice straight lines that we can work with. Oh, my head was in the way. Sorry about that, you guys. Trying to keep out of the way. Doesn't always work. Now, since these are so very small, I've got a decent amount of confidence in the fact that I can freehand these lines to be completely straight, right? Because we're just talking about basically 1 millimeter for these lines, so it's not awful. Okay. Basically what we're doing, we're just following the contour of the angles here, of the shoulder piece, right? So we're trying to keep these lines as parallel to these angles as we possibly can. And since we're working so close, you know, like I said, i.e. 1 millimeter away from the edge, it's not that hard to freehand this. Now, mind you, if you're newer to scribing, don't freehand it. Just don't freehand it. Scribe with Dymo tape or a guide or something. Okay. I've been doing this a long time. I'm not trying to toot my own horn or anything like that, but with time comes experience. Okay. So if you're just starting out, I would not recommend trying to freehand this. I would definitely still use Dymo tape, because you're gonna get a much better result out of it. Okay, so all right. Okay. Alright, we are almost done with this thing. Okay, so far so good. Now we just have to connect these last two lines here. Okay. And let's see, last few passes. Okay, so now we'll finish this up here. Trim off all the kind of debris and everything like that, get this sanded, and then kind of show you the final product for the simulated light kind of look, right? And then we'll get to scribing that that micro panel above this light, right? Okay, last side here. All right, let's clean this out. Okay, and there we go. All right, let's get a... where'd that brush go? There it is. Let's get a little bit of this watercolor in this panel line so you guys can see it a little bit better, yeah? There we are. And let's get kind of the excess dried off here. Cleaning the surface here so you guys can see this a little bit easier. But this came out pretty dang good, if I do say so myself. Alright. There's that. Let's get you super zoomed in so you guys can get the kind of the full effect, yeah? Come on, box. Let's go. There it is. Whoa, hey now. All right. So there, we can see that little kind of simulated light. And obviously, once we've got this painted and all that, and panel lined properly and everything, you can see how this is going to simulate kind of a light there on the corner, right? We can paint this red, or we can paint this green, or what have you. And that's just gonna, I think that's gonna look really, really, really nice. Really nice. Let's see. Let's get caught up with the chat, shall we? All right. Brandon says, maybe we are already in hell, Julio, LOL, or at least headed there right now with this stuff that's going on, Yellowstone, earthquakes, massive fire. Well, maybe, yeah. I don't know. I'd like not to think that, but hey. Let's see. VFX10 Viper Josh says, heard you like micro panels, so we go ahead and put a micro panel and then put another micro panel on top of that micro panel. Goddamn right. It's all about stacking, baby. But that's the simple trick of it, right? Now, like I said, this little panel, this little light thingy, you're looking at about 1.5 millimeters wide, about 1 millimeter there at the bottom. This way you're looking at, let's see, you're looking at about 1 millimeter there, So, yeah, I mean, it's just a very, very small detail that just adds a little bit of visual, a little bit of visual flair, and just some mechanical realism, right? Because you have to think that you look at planes and stuff like that, and right on the corners of the wings and different parts, there are lights there to show all that. So when this thing is coming in, to the carrier, when it's landing or even taking off, you have to think that there's going to be some sort of visual cue for the staff on the carrier deck and all that, to basically, hey, watch out for this giant goddamn robot, right? So I mean, that's what you would think, but I mean, I don't know, man. We build giant robots out of plastic, so what are you gonna do? All right, moving on. Now, we're going to use this Dymo tape to make that teeny tiny little panel above it, right? That's what we're going to do next. So, let's get out of super zoom, because obviously it's hard to stay in frame on super zoom, just because it's such a tiny area to work in. There we go. Chris Pabs is over there. He says there is. Because Charles Dodge says, just an FYI, there's now a model building category on Twitch. Might help to get some more of the Twitch viewers. Yeah. But Bill says, but who cares about Twitch? Twitch is the decent place. Come on now. Chris Pabs says Twitch is starting to sound more valid to stream on. Hey, Tyron118, thank you for the sub. Appreciate that. Welcome to the Mecha Army. You get one of these. Hey, ooh. That's awesome. Twitch is good. Twitch is very good. YouTube has obviously a bigger audience, and it's easier to get discovered on YouTube. And what I mean by discovered is not like get famous or any of that shit. No, for your it's easier for your videos to be discovered, right? Because you got to think Twitch Twitch doesn't have like the recommended videos off to the side where YouTube does. They have, you know, the feed right there on you know, the front page when you go there and everything. So, hey, uncalled for. Hey, thank you. Appreciate you. New follower. Thank you. You get one of these. Hey, welcome to the Mecha Army. But yeah, you know, YouTube is a little bit easier to have your videos discovered that way. And Twitch is, mind you, Twitch is still a very, 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 very valid platform. So I like the combination of them both. Hey. Charles Dodge says, no more like the live version of YouTube. Yeah. He says, isn't Twitch the video version of Pinterest? Wow. I don't think so. I don't think so. Chris Pav says, I just don't like the culture Twitch thrives on. What, gamers? Yeah, I don't. I don't see it as any different than, say, YouTube or Facebook or what have you. Charles Dodge says there's benefits to doing both, and the modeling and miniature culture is very different than the gaming culture. Oh yeah, understatement of the year right there. Yeah, Sam L says that was me on Twitch. Oh, thank you, Sam. Appreciate that, buddy. Appreciate that. Very good. Superset5, speaking of which, is over there on Twitch. He says Twitch is the best place ever of all time. You know, I like Twitch. It's not bad. It's a cute little platform. 5 out of 10. Would stream again. Yeah. Alright, let's get this laid down here. Now we are going very, very thin with this particular micro panel here. So we need to get this this Dymo tape very close to the edge here. And that looks pretty good right there. Alright, and then just to make sure, we are going to mark our endpoints there with the with a pencil, and then we can go about scribing this little panel in place. Okay. Now, this is obviously a pretty easy job right there to scribe a single straight line, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to pull that piece of Dymo tape off. We're going to transfer it to the other side here. And we're going to do the same thing right over here. Try to get it to the equal distance of the first surface, right? Press that tape in there. All right, and then we go to town again. Just a nice straight line. Just like that. All right, now we're gonna pop the tape off of there, and now we're gonna freehand the top of the panel here. Ever so carefully, because this is super thin panel here, so we're not talking a ton of room for error, right? Whoa! Hey! What? Joe Grasso, talking about a blast from the past. Come on now. Joey, what's up, brother? Holy shit. Okay. So, Joe, first and foremost, here. You get one of these. Secondly, for those of you that are wondering why I'm making such a big deal about Mr. Joseph Grasso, Joe is old school, like me and like George Tetsugen, right? We had our start, holy shit, back on Gundam.com, right? And then there was GundamStore.com, and then obviously childofmecha.com with the forums and all that. Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's super cool. That is super cool. He says, long time. Dude, yeah. It has been a long time, hasn't it? We've been in this thing for a while, dude. That's awesome. Hey, thank you for that. Appreciate that, brother. Technically Will, they're over there on Twitch, giving us a little wave. Hello. Let's get caught up real quick with the chat. Bill, Mr. Ruslam says, Twitch has problems with people subbing or donating, then not paying. It causes a huge headache. I can see that. Chris Pab says, I'll check it out. Thanks, fellas. Chris says, by the way, Tim, I have multi-stream active. Is there any way I can link my stream to the Mecha Army group? Yes, you can. You should be able to stream to it. What are you using? Restream, or are you using StreamYard? Chris, let me know, because that may make a difference, but let me know. Charles Dodge says they must have changed that over a year ago, as it's all upfront paid for subs and donations. Charles Dodge says, I've been subbing and donating since December 2018, and it's always required upfront payment. Yeah, I thought so. Joe Grasso says, glad I discovered your stream. Dude, right? Thank you, buddy. Like I said, we do this every single day, every weekday, 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern, and then Monday, Wednesday we go again at 10 to 12 a.m. and then Fridays our group show Mechanism, 10 p.m. to 12 a.m. Eastern as well. So yeah, man, we're here, we're streaming, we're building, we're teaching, the whole 9 yards. So it's a fun time. Technically Will over there on Twitch says, hey, child, any experience with hand painting? I'm about to grab a few Vallejo bottles and go on this journey. Well, number one, welcome. It's going to be a fun ride. Number two, I actually don't hand paint. I airbrush everything. But an excellent resource for you would be to hit up YouTube and look for Mr. Justinius Builds. He's a good friend of mine. He has a full tutorial on hand painting and all that good stuff. Another great resource would be Mr. Lincoln Wright. His YouTube is called Paint on Plastic, right? Both of those resources are wonderful when it comes to hand painting, because both of them hand paint a decent amount, right? So definitely hit up one of those, if not both. Spend some time watching videos and kind of, learn the ins and outs, the pitfalls, and all that good stuff to look for. So those are two wonderful resources. So I definitely suggest hitting those up. Okay. Hi, Craig. What's up, dude? Chris Pab says, I'm only using Streamlabs. It's letting me stream on Facebook and YouTube. Ah, okay. We'll have to take a look at that. We'll have to, yeah, I don't know. You might need like a stream key and all that to go through Streamlabs. Yeah. I don't know. Chris, put that on the table and we can talk about that later. We can talk about that later. Yeah. Chris Pab says he means 10 p.m. till midnight Eastern, Monday and Wednesday. Did I say something different? My bad. Yeah, we go twice. We stream twice on Monday and Wednesday, and then technically twice on Friday. I have the afternoon show and then Mechanism later in the evening. So Joe says, good to know. Definitely tune in, man. Tune in. Technically Will says, good resources. I love Lincoln's vids. Now I'll give Justin a view. Thanks. You're absolutely welcome. Hey, Mr. B. Mr. Barack. That's awesome. He says, Mr. B, Plamo Builder. It's been a long time. How is USA? We're still here. Barely. He says, love from Panama Republic. Dude, absolutely. And Barack, dude, give my best to Iris as well. So you guys are the best. Chris Pab says, I'll do some research, brother. Thanks. LOL, you said 10 a.m. Did I say 10 a.m.? That's my bad. 10 p.m. Yeah. Sorry. Sam L's got a question. Sammy! He says, what would you use to strip Vallejo acrylics off a model? I hand-painted my first kit, but would like to tear it down and clean it up and airbrush instead. Well, Chris suggests 91% isopropyl alcohol. That would definitely be good if it was easy to find right now. Because everybody and their brother is pretty much sold out of it, at least in the stores. I got super lucky because I needed isopropyl alcohol, and I actually was able to order some right after this whole thing hit the US on the Amazon link. And when I first logged on to look at it, it was not available. It said currently unavailable. So I signed up, put in my email address, signed up for notifications for when it did come in, and it came in stock. I was Johnny on the spot. I bought 3 cases of 6 bottles each. So I've got 18 bottles of isopropyl alcohol sitting over here on the floor. But if you're for some reason you can't find it in stores, hit the Amazon link, sign up for the notifications, and then when it does come back in stock, which it seems like it has been coming back in stock fairly regularly, hit it up and order it as quickly as you possibly can. So that would be my suggestion. Aside from that, you could try things like Windex, Formula 409, stuff like that. I can't guarantee that those will work, but I mean, you can test them. I know they're going to be completely safe for the plastic, but who knows if they're going to penetrate the paint. So it's the best thing I can say, Sam. Sorry, man. Barack, Mr. B. Plamo, he says, Iris says, hello, she is with me painting a tank piloted by an Ewok. That's just freaking cute. That's just really cute. I personally can't wait to see that. So that's awesome. You guys, cutest freaking couple, I swear. Barack says, I use Vallejo, model color, game color, model air, and metal color. You can use water, no problem. Well, to strip it, Barack, once it's painted on the piece, he's talking about stripping it off the piece after that. So, yeah. Brandon says, if you can find any iso alcohol, you can increase its strength with table salt. Really? I did not know that. Sam L says, so what you're saying is send you my address. Hey. Greek Knockers over there on Twitch, he says, Lincoln and Justin hand painting techniques are going to be lacquer-based paints. For the most part, more than Dice Podcast, Shoshi's Minis, Impending Duff, Next Level Painting are good painters that use water-based paints like Vallejo. Yeah, that's a good call. I think Justin in his video used water-based, though. I know Lincoln uses Mr. Color for his hand painting. But I think... I can't be certain, but I think Justin used a non-solvent-based paint. It might have been like Tamiya or Vallejo or something like that. I can't remember. Might have been like Vallejo Mecha Colors. I don't honestly remember which one it is. I just remember his tutorial being pretty decent. So, Ruslan says, if you can't find isopropyl alcohol and don't want to use something stronger, Listerine is 75% alcohol. Feel the burn. Hey, there's the Zaku Cannon, new follower over there on Twitch. Thank you. Appreciate you. Welcome to the army. You get one of these. Anytime now. There we go. Better late than never, right? But thank you and welcome. Brandon says, pour in a shit ton of salt, shake the hell out of it, and let it sit. After 30 to 40 minutes, it will separate. Use a turkey baster to pull the higher concentrated alcohol off the top. Salt takes the water out. Oh. Okay. That kind of makes sense. Yeah. Because obviously it's not 91% is not 100% alcohol, right? There's 9% of something else, and that's usually water. So usually 91% will be able to cut through most types of paint like that, right? Mr. B. Barack says, stripping. Sorry. He says you can use any degreaser, like Simple Green or whatever. Just leave them like 1 or 2 days. Okay, that's another option. Simple Green, Purple Power, Zep Fast 505, all great stuff. I would recommend the concentrates rather than the watered down shit, but just my personal recommendation. Zaku Cannon says, thanks, man. No, thank you. Appreciate you. There's Manny MacDio. He says, hey, all. What's going on, Manny? Good to see you, buddy. Staying safe, I hope. Manny actually works on the trains and subways and stuff like that up in NYC. So he's basically a ground zero. So Manny, dude, brother, stay safe, okay? Stay safe for us. Charles Dodge says, Citadel is water-based. Tamiya is solvent-based. The entire Vallejo line is water-based. Okay. Well, Tamiya is a special case. Tamiya is not exactly a solvent-based. It's an alcohol base, right? So it's kind of that weird in the middle, right? Where Mr. Color, Gaia Notes, SMS, Alclad, Finishers, those are hot. Those are solvent-based paints. To where, like I said, Tamiya is more alcohol-based. So it's not like your truest sense of a solvent, right? I mean, it's kind of like a wimpy solvent, if you will, at most. So yeah, kind of one of those things, right? Technically, Will says, thanks for the tip. I definitely want to stick with water-based paints. Okay. Yeah, I mean, whatever your preference is, right? Mr. B says, Citadel is acrylic water-based paint. Okay. See, I don't use any of these other paints, so I just don't know. Brandon says, I was saying it's more for lowering the percentage that can be found, like 50% and 70%. Yeah. Okay. I also check hydroponic stores for 99% ISO. Yeah. Ruslam says, just use sulfuric acid. The paint will disappear. So will the plastic, but hey, right? Hey, use a flamethrower while you're at it. Go for it, man. If you're going to go big, yeah, I screwed that line up. It should be either go big or go home, or my favorite, if you're going to be a bear, be a grizzly, but I screwed the pooch on that line, so let's just forget that ever happened. Manny says, I'm trying. I have 1 day left till I get paid. My paid week off work next week. Oh, good, man. Good. Well, again, brother, stay safe. Chris Pab says, that's what I mean. I thought I saw Justin use Citadel, which isn't solvent-based. Mr. Billy says, Tamiya is alcohol-based, but it's an acrylic that behaves depending on if you use alcohol or lacquer thinner. Yeah. And it's weird like that because it can go... It's like that one paint that can kind of go either way on that on that sliding scale, right? It's just an odd kind of little paint. I dig it though. Charles Dodge says, if you're finding that your ISO isn't as effective, put it in while in the bottle in hot water bath for a few minutes. Interesting. Brandon says, want to go big? All you need is styrofoam, engine oil, and gas. Whew, yeah, let's not do that, shall we? Let's not do that. You know what? I have been remiss. I have not checked in with the Mecha Army Facebook page. So let me refresh this and check the comments. See if there are any comments over there on the page. There are. Robert Cottrell, he's over there. He says, "What's Frankie's Twitch handle?" What is Frankie's Twitch handle? That is a wonderful question. Let's see here. Yeah, try again to upload. Anybody else having problems with Instagram today? Like, I'm having crazy big problems with IG, and I don't know why. It's been sucking ass today. Anyway, that's not the topic at hand. The topic at hand is Frankie's. Okay, so it's just Frankie RG. Frankie RG. No spaces, no dots, no nothing. Frankie FRANKIE RG. Nathan, that's his Instagram handle, Frankie.RG. But his Twitch handle is just Frankie RG, with no dot. So, Robert, if you're still watching, hopefully you are, man, because I know that comment was like freaking hour ago. Yeah. Hey, there we go. All right. So, back to it here. Let's get this pulled up here. We're going to go double audio for just a second. Let me mute that. There we are, and goodbye. Okay. Now I can keep track of those comments there. Terry T, he's with us over there on YouTube. He says there's a Japanese YouTuber that uses uses a painting style of miniature figures on Gunpla. Might not be to everyone's preference, but it's very unique, almost border on anime style, all hand painted. The channel is called something Senasuke. There we go. Sweet. I might have to check that out. Rusham says hand painting resources. Gundam Taz. Oh yeah. And Paint Pusher. Yeah. Mr. Win. Yeah. Win is amazing because that's all he does is hand paint. That's all he does is hand paint. That's it. He doesn't even own an airbrush, you guys. And honestly, I can't wait for you to see his GBWC build because yeah, it's gonna be awesome, like Win always does. He and I talk every now and then, and he shows me pictures and stuff like that of kind of what he's working on and everything, and I'm constantly blown away. Constantly. So, yeah. All right. So, anyway, back to work. Here we go. All right. So, we need to get this other line connected here. Right there. And let's make sure we reinforce these lines here. Clean all the debris out of here. Just kind of get these all to a consistent depth. Yeah. Very nice. Okay. So, let's get these all sanded smooth here. Yeah, that I think is going to look very, very good. All right, so chisel discipline, you guys. Don't forget chisel discipline, okay? Let's see here. Let's go soupy zoom. Where's the box? There's the box. All right, right there. Let's go 5x. All right, and let's see. It's still a little hard to see. I understand, but let's see if. Whoop. Same thing. I was focused. All right, so here let's kind of do this again. The little this stuff right here. This little Artist Loft. What is this? A liquid watercolor, right? This is good, just good to try, just basically to preview the panel lines and stuff for you guys. Honestly, this is probably one of the only times where I would ever use this stuff. Okay. Alright, so that should make it a little bit easier to see that little micro panel up there. But, as you can see, that's kind of what we're going for here. Let's try and see if we can't get this cleaned off just a bit more for you guys, because that, I know, is a bit hard to see. Let's see if we can't scrape the surface down without removing that color there. There we go. That's actually a lot better. Yeah, that looks really quite good. All right. There we go. That, you can see that a little bit better now, right? Nice and thin on that side. That's maybe, shit, that's maybe 0.3, 0.4 of a millimeter wide. That's more like half a millimeter, maybe 0.6, right? But you can kind of see how that will look after the fact. We'll make this bottom corner piece, we'll make that a light, right? So we'll probably paint that red or something. And then this little micro panel on top, we're going to paint that gray, and that'll set off, kind of set off the entire look, right? So let's put this back on so you can kind of see the entire piece together, right? Now we still want to scribe this little guy in right here, and we got plenty of time to do it too. Cool. But we added that little accent piece there, did an outline scribe in that, so that looks all separated. Did our little micro panels there. That looks really, really good, yeah. And we might even add some more here to the front of the shoulder just for shits and giggles. But let's get this scribed in here real quick, and this should be very, very simple because we can essentially not necessarily free-handed, but we can get this line going pretty easily here. Let's see, what are we going to use? I don't want to use that. Let's use this guy right here. This looks pretty good. Actually, we're going to put this There we go. That is going to be much better, that scribing jig right across here, because that'll make a consistent line. That'll make a consistent line right across that thing. And let's get out of super zoom so you guys can see what the hell I'm doing a little bit better here. So 1, and get rid of the box. Pull the windows back up. There we go. Let's see. All right, we're going to grab our 0.15 here again, and we're going to go to town. Right across there, and we're going to do this same thing right across the other side too while we're here. That way we get a nice consistent look on both sides of this thing, right? So you can kind of see the shadow of the scribe lines there. We'll get the one that we're working with here just a bit deeper. There we are. And that looks really good. Okay, so now what we can do is we can use this same... Well, is it going to work like that? No, it's not going to work like that. Okay, not a big deal. Not a big deal at all. Alright, so... Let's see if this little piece of Dymo is still viable here. Let's see if it'll stick. Yeah, good enough. Good enough. Doesn't have to be perfect, just good enough, right? Doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, so let's mark this. I like that a little bit closer, so we're going to peel this tape off and get that right about there. And then we'll scribe this line, and then we'll connect the two together. Okay. Pop that little piece of Dymo tape off there, and then we just simply connect these two. And we can freehand this bit because it's only about 1 millimeter. Just like that. And there we are. All right, so there's that first initial scribe line there, right? Not too bad, not too bad. Excuse me. Let's see here. Mr. Bill, he's got a question. Let's get that. Uh-oh, there goes the stream deck. Son of a bitch. Or maybe not. Okay, hey, here we go. We have a question. Hey. He says, Tim, do you ever vary your scribe angle for variation not perpendicular to the surface? If so, do you have chisels set aside just for that? Not perpendicular to surface. Usually not. Usually not. And Bill, by what I think that you're meaning is, say that this is the surface, right? Just like this, and this would basically be your chisel, and it's going there. And what I think you mean is if you cut in like at an angle this way. Yeah, I would never probably do that. Simply because you're number one, you're asking for trouble. angling a chisel like that anyway. It's just, it puts a lot of stress on the actual blade part, because it's, you know, you've got it at an angle. If it's straight up and down perpendicularly, all that stress is going into the plastic. It's going at a, you know, a right angle at that point, or at least as close to a right angle as you can scribe. Not, well, now that I think about it, now that I give this more thought, I shouldn't say never. I shouldn't say never, because we've done, you can get away with, you can get away with like plastic sculpting with chisels, right? And you guys have seen me do this on the airdrop and everything like that, on the front part of the shins and everything. You can, and this is only really to be done with larger chisels, probably 0.5 and above, those with you know, a heavy duty blade, right? You don't want to do this with, obviously, the thinner stuff, but to sculpt in vents and stuff like that, especially louvered vents, you can angle the chisel and kind of scribe those in and sculpt them into the plastic, for lack of a better term. But that, I think that, honestly, that would probably be the only time that I can think of as of right now to where you would angle your chisel other than 90 degrees. So, hopefully that helps. Silver Maverick, Mr. Ricardo, howdy, howdy, howdy. What's going on, buddy? Bill says exactly. Okay, yeah. Yeah. That's the only thing I can think of right now, off the top of my head, is why you would angle a chisel other than 90 degrees like that. That's the only time. So, yeah. Anywho, let's get back to this part, shall we? Now, what we can do on this final bit is we could probably get away with using a scribing jig here, but that's going to be way too big. Maybe, what is this, 1.5? 1.5 is even too big, so we're going 1. We're going 1 millimeter. If we can find the little scribing jig for 1 millimeter, is this it? That one's close enough. Ah, here it is. Here's the 1 millimeter. All right. So, and then we just go about the business of bisecting this thing, basically. Okay. Real quick, hey Ricardo, I saw your post on your new toys today on Instagram, dude. First and foremost, I'm super jealous that you got that RF lens. That looks like a beast. And then secondly, you're gonna love that Osmo unit, because it's just a solid piece of gear. I have one, and I really enjoy it. I actually use it for production and the whole 9 yards. Alright, there we go. We're basically just wrapping around that that panel line on this side, right? Like I had mentioned in the beginning. Just like that, and then we're going to do the same thing to this little panel line here. And there we go. And we did that for the bottom part of that. So now, let's put this on, and let's see kind of what everything looks like here. All right, so there we go. You can see that little micro panel right up there. And that looks really, really good. Really, really good. I like it. I like it a lot. Yeah. One thing that I'm thinking that we might do is right above this little add-on piece here. Let's chisel discipline the 1.15. Let's go ahead and get 0.30 going here. And what we're going to do is we're going to come over just a little, maybe just 2 millimeters off the edge. And we're going to scribe into the top here. We're basically just making a notch. And we're doubling up on the thickness of that panel line. That's realistically all we're doing. And now we need to wrap that over. So same exact process for wrapping over a 0.15 panel line. Very, very simplistic. And there we go. Cool. And that just adds a little variation, you know? Just a little something to catch the panel lining fluid in there and just kind of give it a little bit more visual impact, right? So that looks really good. Really quite nice. Let's see. Eris 385 got a question. Hey. We have a question. What size of chisels do you use for most of the time? Also, what sizes do the Mecha Army use? Okay, so for me, and it looks like Brandon and a bunch of other people kind of already mentioned this, but for me, there are two panel line chisels of note, right? The first one being the 0.15. Now, 0.15 for me is going to be anything over over 1/100 scale, right? So this would be all your general panel lines, right? For anything like say 144 and under, I would go 0.10, right? So this would be high grades and under, real grades, etc. This would be for everything 1/100 and above, right? It's just that slight difference in thickness of line just goes to sell the illusion of scale, right? Now these are your panel lining chisels. I would throw in two others for kind of a starter set. I would throw in a 0.30 and a 0.60. Those are going to be for your notches and stuff like that. So either choose one of these and then both of those, and those three is going to be your basis for a really, really solid starter set of chisels, right? Now, I know Brandon said he has a 0.5. I actually used to use 0.5, but I actually kind of like the 0.6 just a little bit better because it's just a hair wider, right? And for uniformity, twice of 0.15 is 0.3, twice of 0.3 is 0.6. So it just has that kind of nice fit, you know? So that's kind of what I would use. Beyond that, it's basically your choice. So maybe 1 millimeter, maybe maybe a point, 0.7, a 0.8, something like that. It's all in what you want to do and what look you want to achieve. But those three right there, solid starter set right there. Brandon says 0.1 or 0.25 for panel lines for 144. Yeah. Rusham says, I've done stuff with my old handmade chisels, but my fear was with the modeling chisels either snapping or dulling. If it comes down to it, I can just make my own again. Bill, I've had these particular chisels for years, and these are made, I believe, of tungsten carbide. So I mean, as long as you're just scribing plastic, it's going to take a long time for these things to dull. You know what I mean? Bill says, I just don't have the experience with BMC chisels like Tim does. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the thing. You know, you want to... Unfortunately, the only way to get experience with BMC chisels is to have a BMC chisel, right? Because they do take a bit of getting used to in the beginning, but once you kind of get that physical kind of mind-muscle connection, you're off to the races. You're good to go, essentially, at that point. Then you're just limited by your imagination. Charles Dodge says, Ruslam, to counter dulling, get a 6K wet oil diamond stone, and you can just do the few lapping strokes on the back side of the chisel, and it will keep it honed. Yeah. And I've actually been thinking about getting one of those because I do have an old 0.5 that I just absolutely abused. It was one of them. I used it on PVC pipe, of all things, when I made the hummingbird, and that killed that chisel. It chipped the corners and it just dulled it like nobody's business. So I still have it. I was kind of my experimental chisel to try and hone again. But yeah, that's always kind of been on the back burner. So, but Chris Pab says 0.1, 0.15, 0.3, 0.5, or I like 0.6, but that's, you know, just my personal preference. Ruslam says, Charles, thanks, but uneven dulling is different than normal on a chisel. You have to figure out true straight, then grind it even. If I have a grinding wheel and numerous whetstones. They make little guides for chisels, right? Here we go. And I got one of these. This here. This is by U-Star, right? And actually here. Oh, it's a 1mm that I abused. So here's the 1mm that I just tore to hell, right? And what you do is this is on a kind of a little roller thing there, and you pop your chisel right in here, and it's got the little grooves there, and it's, you know, it's got a little bit of play to it, but you know, you kind of get that straight and then hone that in to the angle that you need, and all you do is just kind of go back and forth on your whetstone or your grinding plate or whatever, and that puts that point and that edge back to it. So this is actually a really quite nice little tool, and I mean, hell, you can just take your L square and just square it to the plate like that, and then just really crank down on this you know, little thumb screw, and then just basically just go to town, just like this, right? Just back and forth, zip zip zip, done, right? So these little utilities, these are actually kind of nice, and other companies make them other than U-Star. I just got this off Taobao a year or two ago. So yeah, those are an interesting little tool to have, right? Let's see. William Wilm says, Tim using math on his mecha designs. Hey man, whatever it takes, right? Woodsy, Thanks, I've been wanting to try my hand at scribing some kits. Well, you're definitely in the right place. Hey. Brandon5269 says, I broke the tip off my .10, so I replaced it with a .15 and like it better. Okay. Let's see. Ruslan wants to know if he still has it. Charles Dodge, well, it's no different than doing your regular chisel and plane blades. I've got the same setup for my woodworking blades. Got it. Ruslan says, if you do, can I have it? That is one of the few I'm missing. Hey. Manny says, still have a few BMC chisels on my wish list at USA Gundam Store. And from what I understand, Adam is supposed to get a restock of BMCs. I think it's either this month? I think it's this month at some point. So keep an eye out for that, kids. Brandon says, somewhere in my room I plan on eventually using my diamond stones on it to bring it back to a point. Terry T says, if you search for Toy Maker, the art of scribing, you will find a nice blog that talks about chisels as well as a nice photo of what different sizes will look like in panel designs. Yeah, Kenny Lim, Toy Maker, he's very, very, very good at scribing panel lines and all that good stuff. So definitely a great source. Brandon says, but Bill, if I find it, it's yours. Hey, look at that. Charles Dodge says, honing is different than reshaping. Honing is after every session so that the blade doesn't get dull. Dull or chips means resharpening. Okay. I'm not an expert at it at all, so I'm just kind of throwing words out there, right? Eris385, thanks to everyone in the Army for your help. Appreciate it. Our pleasure, man. That's what we're here for, right? Superset5 over there on Twitch. I'm out. Later, everyone. Take care, buddy. Samuel, I ended up getting MadWorks 0.3 because it is all I could find. I just need a 0.6. There you go. Chris Pabs with Florida finally implementing a stay-at-home order. Anyone know how Adam is handling it? Yeah, Chris, so they sent out a newsletter earlier today, and then a couple people had popped on my live stream last night from Zach's. I guess Adam had answered that very question. So with the stay-at-home order in Florida, that means that he has to close the storefront, but he can keep the warehouse open and they can keep working, shipping orders and all that good stuff. So yeah, that's actually official. That was in the newsletter that he sent out today in the email. So yeah, they're wide open for business, kids. Order away and go to town. Order everything. Order everything. He's getting bombed with orders, but there's no time like the present, right? Get them in, get your products reserved and ordered for you, right? But yeah, they are wide open for business. They are still shipping and still there. So definitely go hit them up. Charles Dodge says, Ruslan, you might like this. Last night I prototyped a mini hand plane just wide enough for the flat X-Acto blade. Whoa. Why? Because I could and wanted to see if I could use it to flatten nubs. I mean, why the hell not, right? That sounds actually pretty damn awesome. I'm not going to lie. I think that sounds like freaking cool. So, if you guys aren't familiar, a mini hand plane is, or a hand plane is a woodworking tool, and it has a flat kind of chisel blade, and the blade extends down just a bit below the main surface of the block. And what that does is when you glide that over a wooden surface, it takes off just that little bit of wood and gets it super dead flat. So what Charles did is he made a small one, a super small one that is basically the size of a chisel blade. And mind you, this is the Olfa chisel blade, so this is actually thinner than the X-Acto blades. The X-Acto blades are about this thickness, right? So that sounds pretty damn cool to me. I'm intrigued at this point now. Brandon says, thinking of painting my Zaku Warrior cement gray color, but I am struggling with what accent colors to use. Man, anything goes good with gray, honestly. Anything. Let's see. Sam L says, thanks, Rusano. We'll have to wait a bit. I found out today that I'm getting a pay cut until this is over. Damn, sorry. Sam, trust me. I know the feeling, brother. I'm sorry to hear that. Manny says, hey, Brandon, how about some muted reds? I like muted reds. Ruslan says, what angle did you use for it, 30 or 45? Meaning to Charles, about the little mini plane. And Charles says, yeah, I've reground X-Acto blades to custom shapes for cleaning mold lines on plastic and miniatures. That sounds awesome. William Wilm says, pastel red. Pink is what you're talking about? I don't know about that one. Brandon says, I was thinking reds, Manny, but kind of leaning towards some purples. Hey, purple and gray ain't bad either. Purple and gray ain't bad. That's a good combination, I'd say. Hell yeah. All right. So, let's see here. We've got about 5 minutes left. Okay. Here real quick. Bill has a question. There we go. He says, Tim, will the NT cutter blade fit in backwards? If so, it may be perfect to grind as a chisel. Bill, I love you. You are an amazing gentleman. But, yes. To answer your question, yes. I'm sorry, Bill. I had to do it. I'm sorry. Oh, man. Yeah, they should, if, upside down then. Yeah, I think they should. Yeah, let's, I mean, because it's just the same type of getup here, right? But, yeah, see, just like that. Now, the real question is, what thickness is that, right? That's what you're talking about here, and that's the edge that we're getting at. So let's take a measurement, shall we? That is 0.30, roughly. You can see it right there. 0.29 is the width of that blade, right? So real quick, let's see what kind of results we can get out of it. Yeah, I mean, because why not, right? So let's see. We'll get our 6.3 on here first, and then we'll just kind of go to town. That's not terrible. You know, I'm not gonna lie. That's not terrible. It definitely scribed a line. Right? Okay. So now, let's get a 4.8. Okay, and then we'll use the actual 0.30 BMC in here. Okay, and then we'll kind of compare. So just by tactile feel, just the feeling that you get through your hands, the BMC is definitely smoother to work with. There's no question there. Let me make a few more passes with the back edge of this knife. Yeah, it's there's a definite tactile difference, right? Definite tactile difference. Let's get zoomed in so you can kind of see this a little bit better. Hopefully, we can get a zoom in pretty good on this. Shit, we might even break out the 10x here. Yeah, let's go 10. Boom. That's crazy, right? That's 10x. All right. So, let's see here. I don't want to touch this thing in fear of jostling it here, but this top one here is the back of the NT cutter blade. This here is the actual 0.3 chisel. Now, just looking at the differences, you can see there's a much cleaner edge to the BMC, right? Look at the shadow line just above the actual scribe, right? You don't want to look at the shadow line itself, just above it, and you want to try and look at that hard edge. The harder edge is definitely on the 0.30, but I will say that is completely passable, and it's not terrible. Mind you, this is 10x zoom, guys. This, and I know it's choppy because that's just the way that it is, but looking at it just with your bare eyes, just with the naked eye, there's very little difference. Very, very little difference. And you can see they both are pretty dang smooth in there, right? But the top one definitely is, you know, at this magnification, a bit rougher. So there you go. Yeah, there you go. So, yeah, not too bad. Rusam says, nice size for a makeshift scriber. Yeah, yeah. I don't know how well this would scribe notches, but for a line like this, it's not bad. It's not bad at all. To get your feet wet and to kind of get the technique down, I think this would be a good starting place, right? Definitely. Bill says, with a few passes on a stone, it should work well. Definitely. Yeah, definitely. Manny says, panel line it. Charles Dodge says, that's not bad. Bill says, very good for a makeshift tool. Yeah, yeah. Manny says, it's a bit scratchy. But then Hanron says, not much of a difference considering how zoomed in it is. Exactly. That's the thing you got to keep in mind. Brandon says, not bad. Use the back of a regular number 11 X-Acto and this, and you got yourself a free set of scribes, basically. Yeah, and then we've tested that. We've tested that before. I wonder if I have that piece of plastic readily available anywhere. It doesn't look like it. No. Oh, wait. I do. Check this out. Aha. I actually have it. Okay, so this was the test. These were tests with different chisels, right? That's a BMC. This is 0.15, right? That's the BMC. This is the MadWorks blade style, the initial first versions, right? So that and that look almost identical, right? And then this is the MadWorks round stock chisel right there. It's a little bit rougher, but not by much. Not by much, right? But then that, ladies and gentlemen, this line right here, that's from the back of an X-Acto blade with just a hair of the tip broken off. So look at that look at this line right here, compared to that, compared to that, and compared to that. That's not bad. That's not a bad line at all. So, yeah, you could absolutely use the back of a number 11 X-Acto blade and have kind of baby's first chisel. Yeah, it's totally possible. So that's what I would say to begin with, right? And then once you get the hang of it, once you get the technique down, and if you want to progress further in your scribing, save up, buy chisels. Then you've already got it down, basically. Yeah. Yeah. Brandon says, yeah, I remember that scribe test you did decent for Freeblade. Yeah, it did. Gamer Bud, what? Look at this guy. What's going on, Bud? He says, emerges from the darkness to lurk. Ooh. He says, have you been doing, Tim? Quarantine treating you good? No, man. It's been treating me like shit because I got laid off, right? So I'm a full-time scale modeler now. So that's why we're on early, right? So, but other than that, yeah, I can't complain that much. Got my health and all that good stuff. And, yeah, I'm on here every weekday from 3 to 5 p.m. And then we do the nighttime, streams Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So yeah, it's a good time. And honestly, this, and what I've been telling people is this very well could be a blessing in disguise. It very well could be. Simply because, and let's go camera one for this, simply because this may have been the kick in my ass that I needed to really kind of jumpstart all of the endeavors that we have wanted to do for so very, very long. So that's kind of a make it or break it type of thing at this point. Because like I've told people, like I don't have any other choice than this, right? This is my only thing. Eris says, when is second Mecha Decal coming out? Dude, Eris, it's in stock now. It's shipping. They are shipping that out right now. So yeah, if you've not ordered Mecha Decal Sheet 2, get it ordered up. Yeah. Yeah. So this is one thing that I saw on Instagram today, you guys, and I wanted to kind of make a point of this. Because this is kind of very telling, right? And it's just this story that one of the accounts that I follow posted up, and it says, if you don't come out of this quarantine with a new skill, or your side hustle started, or more knowledge, you never lacked time. You lacked discipline. Strong words, I know. But these are tough times, right? These are tough times. So, tough times make tough people, right? So, man, if you're sitting at home, if you got nothing else better to do, go learn a new skill. Go start a side hustle, right? For me, it's my main hustle now. Go learn something, right? The internet is there. It's free and open and clear. Go learn something. Use this time wisely, because we may never have this sort of, I hate to say it, opportunity again. This time right now that we've basically have, this is probably one of those once-in-a-lifetime opportunities for you to change your entire outlook on life, and honestly, your life in general. Think about that. That's deep, right? That's a grand scale of things. Get after it, man. Don't sit on your ass and watch TV, turn the fucking Netflix off, or have it on while you're building or learning or something like that. Get off the damn video games, 24/7, you know, a couple hours here and there, whatever. It's not bad. But still, get off your ass and do something. Because if you're home, if you're not essential, if you're not working right now, busting your ass and risking your life, potentially, this right now is an opportunity. I'm going to do my damnedest to make the best of it. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. So that's your inspirational stuff for today, you guys. I'm going to get off my soapbox now and kind of get back to it, right? But real quick, before we head out, let's get caught up in the chat one last time, and then we're going to put a bow on this thing, shall we? Let's see. GamerBuzz says, shit, sorry to hear that. Dude, I look at it as an opportunity, right? GamerBud says, I've seen you on a few times during the day, but thought it was just random streaming. Now that I know you're doing this every day, I'll have to pop in more. Dude, absolutely, brother. Absolutely, man. Come on through. We're working. We're busting ass, right? Hell yeah. He says, well, glad you have your health. Yeah, luckily, right? William Williams, get your order in fast. I did. I hoarded them like TP. He's talking about Mecha Decals. Nice. GamerBud says, I've been in a rut with building my Master Grade XE I was working on. None of the designs I was working on satisfied me, so I put it down for a while. 3 months later, thinking of picking it back up. Dude, absolutely, man. Sometimes that's what you need. Sometimes you need to kind of regroup with things, right? I get it. I've done that plenty of times before. Trust me. Brandon says, I want to start Instagram live streaming. My goal is once a week for 1 hour minimum. Do it, man. Do it. Charles Dodge says, learning new skills and starting side hustles are what many Americans will have to do to make any kind of living for 6 months to over a year. Think of the UE, I think maybe EU? I don't know. The UE rate during the 08 and 08 and 80s recession. I gotcha. Sorry. Just I had to read. Anyway. Ruslam says, go for it, Brandon. I agree, dude. Go for it. Terry T says, that's why I've been pushing myself very hard these past few months. I need to learn all the things quickly, and this is the best time to do it. You're damn right, Terry. Make the most out of it, right? I know you're in a tough spot, but make the most out of it, right? Ruslan says, I am at work and almost the only person on the floor. Well, Bill, I mean, you're kind of in that, essential workers scenario. I'm literally just talking to the people that are quote unquote non-essential, like work from home, stay at home type of people. Those are the ones that I think need to basically just need the kick in the ass. Let's just get down to brass tacks, right? Yeah. But Brandon says, also bust my ass in my capstone class, final cumulative college class, and finish strong. Nice. Henry says, elbow cough. Ty Furious is over there on YouTube. Says, these streams have become a roller coaster. Life was the feels today, the sage advice. Dude, we kind of do these things on the regular. Sometimes I get a little philosophical and kind of lay that down. But man, last night was definitely a roller coaster. And the onions. Oh, the onions. Right? Oh, that was crazy. Bill says, just remember to keep discipline during this time. Chisel discipline. Hell yeah. Get your shirt now to remind you during this time off the Child of Mecha Store. Thank you, Bill. Appreciate that. Mr. B. Plamo Barack says, thank you for streaming. We are in full lockdown here. Can't go out just for buying groceries in only 2 hours every 2 days. Oh, I am sorry. That's strict. Honestly, I think the U.S. should probably do that too and just crush this thing for the next 2 weeks, but what are you going to do, right? CML says, same, I need to finish up my last 2 classes. They've been kicking my ass. Yeah, nose to the grindstone, brother. Mr. B. Plamo Barack says, depending if you're a woman, only Monday Wednesday, and Fridays. Men only Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Wow. So they separated by gender. What? Whew, boy. He says, then Sunday, nobody can get out. Wow. Yeah, Panama's laying it down. I'm telling you. Charles Dodge says, before you leave, I want you to know last night you inspired and motivated me to get back into customizing my real grade Sazabi inner frame to look more like it came out of a Chilton's manual. Oh, dude, that's awesome. I love those manuals, right? The old school. I think that's what you're talking about, like the old school British, like trade manuals and stuff like that. Those are just really, really cool. Those are just really cool. Mr. B Plamo Builder says, is the easiest way to split the population in two. That makes sense. That makes total sense. Yeah. But, hey, Charles Dodge, that means a lot. Thank you. I appreciate that. So, and then, anyway, not going to touch that one, Barack. Not going to touch that one with a 10-foot pole, but dude, not on here. Nope. Can't drag me into that one. Anyway, you guys, that's going to do it for us here today. Come on back tomorrow. We're going to be doing the same thing at 3 p.m. To 5 p.m. Eastern U.S. time. We're going to continue on working this shoulder and kind of getting it detailed up, and then we'll move on to something else, right? But come on back tomorrow. Tomorrow night we got Mechanism, so tune in for that tomorrow at 10 p.m. Got it right there, Chris. To 12 a.m. We're going to have fun shenanigans, maybe some DMC, some deep, meaningful conversation, but you never know. Anyway, guys, thank you so very much for watching. Real quick, let's get the business out of the way. If you wanna rep the Mecha Army, represent, yeah. You want one of these? Go hit up www.chadamecha.com. Hit the store button up at the top. You'll find this hat, shirts, many more, and prints and all sorts of other good stuff in there. And if you are interested in any of the tools and materials that we worked with here today, there's an Amazon link below here on Twitch and YouTube. That side, if you're watching on Facebook, I do get a bit of a commission based off the stuff that you buy, but it does not increase the cost for you. It goes to help me out, help out the stream, and kind of further our endeavors in this weird state of the situation that we're in, right? As well, if you need kits or paints or tools, accessories, Mecha Decals Sheets 1 and 2, those are both in stock right now, by the way. Go get you some at our friends right down here, USA Gundam Store. Adam and his crew definitely have what you need. They are going to be open online for business. Keep that in mind. They will continue shipping through all of this because they can. Since they have a warehouse, they can stay open. The retail portion does have to close, so don't try to go in there and try to buy model kits. You got to order it online and have it shipped to you at this point. So keep that in mind, you guys. Go get your orders in. Support these small businesses right now, especially in this time. It's tough out there. It's tough out there for a pimp. That's a small business, right? Shit, I don't know. Anyway, you guys, I will be back here tomorrow at 3 p.m. And we're going to continue working on this. But until then, man, stay safe out there. Use common sense. Wash your hands. Build something cool. Go learn something new. Start your side hustle. Do something with your time. I will see you all tomorrow. Take care, guys.